Alrighty, so a comment I've been getting recently, a decent bit of it, is how do I build the sort of clones for Rose Goku Black, right? There's 5 of them, and you guys want to know the hidden potential build for each of these characters. So what I want to do in this video is go through all 5 of them, sort of look at their passive skills, everything that they're doing, and then give you the optimal way to sort of build them. Now, one thing you guys want to keep in mind is there are EX skill orbs for each one of these clones that's going to be really important to make sure that you're grabbing, right? These are going to be like level 9 defense and stuff like that right off the start. Defense is king in Dokkan. You guys know this, I'm sure, at this point. And you're just going to want to look through them, and you're going to be getting them pretty frequently while you're farming these characters up. So don't worry about not having them. You're going to have plenty by the time it's all over. So you have to get 5 orbs. Or you're going to want to be putting skill orbs on all 5 of these characters. So with that being said, let me know how you guys are building your clones and stuff like that. And with that being said, like I said like 7 times there in the last 5 seconds. Let's get into the first clone, and that is going to be the physical one. Now, all of these characters do like basically the same thing on the super, right? We have the raise attack right here, 50% chance of super attack transforming for supreme power, stuff like that, massively raising their defense. And here is what we have. As the second or third attacker in a turn, we have key sphere changing, so that isn't really going to be doing anything for us. And then we also are going to have this 30% damage reduction, and then we're also going to have an additional damage reduction with the clones. So when we have all of the clones here, this team is going to be looking pretty wicked. 50% damage reduction, right? 300% attack and defense right here. So we want to keep it like that. And then we are also going to be getting support from having the support right here, right? So when we have physical key spheres obtained, we are going to be getting guard with the physical one, and then we are also going to be effective against all types with 12 or more key. So with this guy right here, what I'm looking at is additional and dodge, I think, are the 2 things that you want to focus on with this character, because in their passive, there's nowhere to dodge and there's nowhere to get an additional super attack, right? There's nothing in here. It's all just orb changing, it's damage reduction, it's defense. So this guy right here is going to have 50% damage reduction on top of guard. So that is going to be really good, right? Which is like defensively really nice. And then when you can raise your attack, you're going to have some offensive capability. And then when he's linked up and you're running all of these clones at once, I think that this is where you're sort of going to be getting the most out of this character. I don't believe, with him being effective against all types, I don't think crit is really the way that you want to go, but you want to give yourself that chance to get out of a super, as well as be able to stack the attack of this character. So that's sort of how I would operate with this Rose Goku Black and the clones, at least for the physical one, right? We want to be focusing on additional and dodge, and then anywhere else where we can get extra defense, I think is also going to be really important with this guy. So additional and dodge for the physical one. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one, which is going to be the STR one. So this guy does have a bit of a different effect here. Does it? Yes, because he has, so this Goku Black has raises attack and then massively raises defense, but what this guy is going to be doing is massively raising his attack and just raising his defense. So it is going to be looking a little bit different. The wording is a bit funky, but everything here is going to be very similar. So the difference between this guy right here and the other clones is this guy, you're again not going to be needing crit. So if we look at what he's doing, we have the orb changing, but his buildup is going to be, if we have like a fully set up proper clone team, you guys are going to see he has a 100% chance to crit. So you don't want to put any crit in this guy, and it's ironic because he's an STR character. So you're going to be getting that 5 crit baseline, which is obviously not really what you want to see from this character, but it's just sort of how things go sometimes. With specifically like the just overall setup, right? So when you have like the crit in there and you have the stuff like that, again, what you're going to want to be focusing on with this guy is grabbing as much defense as possible, because you're not massively going to be raising it. And then you also have a baseline of 20% damage reduction. So there's no guard, and then there's no extra damage reduction with this guy. So really, to me, this feels like a full dodge character. Because you have guaranteed crit, and then if you have 1 or more STR key spheres, you're going to be getting a full-on assault of you're going to be getting extra attacks. You have guaranteed crits. The only thing, again, this guy does not have is evasion. So you're really going to want to be focusing, to me, this feels like a full dodge character right here. This STR Goku Black, that is probably how I would build this one, just based on this setup right here. Again, guaranteed crit right here, and then we have a guaranteed additional super attack right here. So you want to build this guy full dodge, in my opinion. let's move on to the int one. And this guy has a little bit more going on the super attack effect. We have greatly raising attack and defense for 1 turn, so there are no massive raising. If you guys don't know the multipliers, it says it right here. So this guy is getting a 100% attack raise and a 30% defensive raise. This guy's getting a 100% defensive raise and a 30% attack raise. This guy is going to be getting 50% on both, and then also support for allies right here. So just keep that in mind. These are going to be looking a little bit different. Now, if we look at the setup right here, what do we have, right? When you have the full clone team, we have the Scouter right here, foresees enemy super attack, really clutch. We get healing. We have guard with 12 or more ki, very easy to get, and then support. So this guy is a very heavy support built character. So this guy doesn't really have a ton to work with. So I would probably say additional and dodge is going to be the way that you want to go, because offense is not going to be this guy's bread and butter. So you want to get your defense up as high as possible. You want to make sure that you're having defensive stats, because you're going to be getting healing when you get 1 or more int key spheres. So if you grab a bunch of int key spheres, you could potentially get more healing if your defensive stat is higher. So I would say additional and dodge is probably what I would do, because you're going to be getting extra support and stuff like that. This is where I'm feeling with this Rose Goku Black clone. Looks really good, right? This is a decent character here. I really like, this is such an not underrated, but this is such an important mechanic in the game. Being able to deal with super attacks just makes the game so much easier for you, just overall, right? It just is so good, right? When you could see the super, you know essentially where to put like the summonable LR Carnival Goku Black and make sure that you're dealing with him. That is like really clutch. So being able to see the super attack, I would definitely focus on just getting additionals and dodging with this guy, because again, that 2-turn support is nice. And then also just being able to evade attacks is nice as always. Dodge is like something that you always just want to be adding to your characters, in my opinion, unless they have a chance to dodge anyway. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one, which is going to be the tech Goku Black right here. So they have the ability to seal. So a 100% chance to seal. We're going to be greatly raising our attack and defense for 1 turn. Not going to be sacking characters, right? Then we go here, orb changing, right? And then they're going to be giving all enemies debuffs, right? Attack and defense, right? More debuffs here. Very nice. Getting an action break. Really clutch stuff. Damage reduction when receiving attack from enemies hit by the character super attack. So if you seal the character and get hit, you get that extra damage reduction, which is nice. And then when you're attacking with 12 or more ki, you're going to be getting all these extra buffs when the enemy is debuffed. So what it comes down to for me, this guy is like, it's tricky. I really think just additional and dodge is the way to go, because this is not like a damage-based character. And crit is going to be innately built into him from the hidden potential system, because he is a tech character, meaning he's going to be getting a baseline of 5 crit when you rainbow the character, basically. So getting additional and dodge is nice, because you're able to dodge things, and then you're also able to get these additional buffs in. And you're just going to get that extra chance for the super attack to transform for supreme power, right? That's really important. And then this extra damage reduction is nice if you, because you're going to be debuffing enemies when you spawn in, right? Because of this buff that you have right here. So he's just going to be looking very impressive with these debuffs. And I think just the more supers, the better. And if you were to take out an enemy potentially against multiple enemies, you could seal one and then you could seal the other. This team, like in something like Super Battle Road, is going to be absolutely insane. But Super Battle Road is not hard anymore. But like anything where there's like multiple enemies and multiple phases right off the bat, and you're able to debuff enemies with this Goku Black Rose clone is going to be really good. So for this tech character, I would say, again, additional and dodge is probably how I would build them, because of just there's not really much going on here. And then they're also going to have a baseline crit in their passive, because they are, or in their hidden potential system, because they are a tech character. So last but not least, we are here at the AGL one. This is definitely one of my favorites. Because we have a 70% chance to dodge. And then we also are going to be doing, if we go down here, right, we have additionals that have a chance to become a super. You know, we don't love, at least it's great chance. So it's like more likely than not, you're going to be seeing it. And then we have 50% dodge right here, right? We have 20%, so 50, 70, 90. 90% chance to dodge if we get an AGL key sphere, so you don't need to be building this guy with dodge. I would definitely say additional and crit is what you want to be focusing on. Really, it's just full crit to me, because you have, well, I guess what you could do is throw in a little bit of dodge too, so that way you just have, like, in case the 90% doesn't proc, you have that chance, because you are just going to have these 2 additionals right here. So I think crit is sort of the way you want to go with this AGL Goku Black, based on the way that things are right here. So AGL Goku Black looking like a really good clone. This is definitely one of my favorites. I think I like the AGL and the Int ones the most, but the reality is all of these guys are good and they work well as a team. And just keep in mind, these characters are the exact same. So if we pull up the STR one next to this one, there is no difference. The super attack effects are the same. Attack 100, defense 30, attack 100, defense 30. You guys can see at the bottom here, damage reduction 20%, attack and defense 200%, 200%, 20. Everything lines up. They're just alternate arts. And I think the main purpose of that was to give you guys extra characters, or give everybody extra characters to use for something like Battlefield. So that is my hidden potential guide for all of the clones. Let me know down below what you guys are thinking of the clones right now. I'm having a ball using them as a free-to-play team. Really work well with some of these summonable teams in the game, especially if you have this Rosé to work with them. So again, let me know down below what you think of the team. How are you building your clone characters and stuff like that? So thank you guys for watching. I hope you did enjoy this one. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe if you were new, and I'll see you all in the next one.